is racist because he worked for a certain channel. I'm gonna look in that camera right there and let everybody know my husband is not a racist.
Boom, and you will
that
defend
is
that.
what, and that is, like, there are some people who think that my husband is racist because he worked for a certain channel. I'm gonna look in that camera right there and let everybody know my husband is not a racist.
All white people are racist. They must be. Racism cannot work unless all white people are racist. Racism is a group system of domination and monopolization of resources, privileges, and opportunities that are selfishly guarded by one group and used to disadvantage all members of another group. White people cannot opt out. You know why? If white people opted out, if all these white liberals opted out of the maintenance and perpetuation of the system of racism, racism would have fell apart by now. Racism would have fell apart by now. If you think white folks are opting out of racism, let me ask you one question. If you think white folks are opting out of racism, let me ask you a question. When slavery ended in 1865, black people owned 0.5% of all the wealth in America. When slavery ended in December of 1865 with the passage of the 13th Amendment, black people owned 0.5% of all the wealth in America. We are 157 years later. We are 157 years later. We still only own 0.5% of all the wealth in this country. If the pot of whites who believe in equality with blacks has grown, if the pot of whites who believe in equality with blacks have grown in these 157 years, if that is the case, the pot of whites who have grown in their belief in equality with blacks, it has expanded. We have more white people now than ever before who claim to believe in equality for blacks. If that is more than lip service, why do Africans still only own 0.5% of all the wealth in this country? It is impossible. I'm trying to get you to see. In order for racism to survive, all white people must participate. There are no opt-outs. In order for a team to win a football game, a basketball game, a baseball game, a hockey game, a volleyball game, everybody got to participate. You can't have a weak link. If it's a 5-on-5 basketball game and one person chooses not to shoot or play defense, you're going to lose. Football is what, 11 guys, 13 guys on each side? If one of them guys on either side of that team, if the wide receiver says, I'm not running no routes, if the defensive end says, I'm not going after the quarterback, guess what? The weak link will get targeted, and through the weak link, the team will lose. There are no weak links in the white race. The white liberal is just as racist as the white conservative. The white Democrat is just as racist as the white Republican. That's right. Racism is a group system. All whites participate. It's the only way they can guarantee domination of resources, opportunities, and rewards. So for my white fans who follow my work, I'm not saying you're a bigot. I'm saying you are a racist. It's still not a good thing to be a racist. It's still not a good thing to be a racist. Okay? But your racism is about the business of white domination. It's not necessarily about the business of black genocide. Not necessarily. But genocide is without question an extension of racism. But I would argue that genocide, to some degree, would more appropriately fall under bigotry. But I still think genocide is the prerogative of every white race as well, to an extent, because of the Africans' ability to repopulate every other race out of existence. So genocide has to be a concern. It has to be a concern. So I'm going to move on from this topic of all white people are racist. I'm going to have to revisit this over and over again because of the political indoctrination of black religion and white media. I'm going to have to review this over and over again because of the political indoctrination of white media and black religion. They have done a thorough job on the collective consciousness of black folks to the point that we don't understand racism at all, and we don't understand collective group interests because we have none. Negroes in America do not understand collective group interests because we have none. We would rather fight than forge a way forward for ourselves. We would rather fight one another than form a way forward for ourselves. And this is one of the reasons why the snow bunny crisis. This is one of the reasons why the snow bunny crisis is such a problem for us as African people, because that white wife of the black man is still a racist. In fact, at a certain level, you can see the snow bunny crisis as a covert strategy on behalf of white racism, where they send the white woman in as a double agent, an undercover operative, to steal and besiege and reclaim all of the wealth and income that the black man has and take it back to the white community. I'm going to say this again. At a military level, the snow bunny crisis is an attempt by the white power structure sending in white women to psychologically disarm these ridiculously politically uneducated black males in an attempt to steal, besiege, reclaim their wealth, assets, and income and take it back to the white community. Have you ever played Capture the Flag? Have you ever played Capture the Flag? When I was in high school, I belonged to a Boy Scout troop, Scotland School for Veterans Children. And we would go play Capture the Flag on the camping trips. And Capture the Flag was you had to go into the other people's territory, get their flag, and bring it back to your side. That's what the white woman is doing with the black man. She's playing not Capture the Flag. She's playing Capture the Bag. Not Capture the Flag. She's playing Capture the Bag. Instead of going to get the flag and bring it back to the black community, she's coming back with the bag. Retirement, insurance, wealth, assets, investments, income streams. That's what she's doing. She's psychologically disarming the black man with sex and emotion. And she's taking all his assets back to the black community. Tiger Woods, Kobe Bryant, rest in peace. The list goes on and on and on. Marvelous Marvin Hagler, the list, rest in peace. The list goes on and on and on. All these white women taking from the most financially elite black men in the country and taking it right back there to their community. The snow bunny crisis is nothing more than a political version of Capture the Flag. And instead of capturing the flag, these white women are sneaking into the black community and capturing the bag of financially elite black men.